It's way past time I dispense some indiscriminate justice!
G'day guys, Duckphil here. We're going to have a replay today from the Korean server. This is going to be between some pretty big players, not like Code S quality sort of players, but they're very good indeed. Over here in the red, as the Protoss on the right side of Scrap Station, we have BanBanZENITH, or BanBanZENITH if you want to call it that particular name. It's up to you, but I like to call him BanBanZ just as he originally was. We'll just close off that there. And yeah, he's a very good player. He has been in Code A, I believe, in the GSL. I can't actually remember if he made Code S, but I don't think so. But anyway, he hasn't really had many good placings lately in the GSL, but he's been giving it a red-hot go, as we all would know. But his opponent, of course, over here on the other side of Scrap Station is LastWish. This player is actually a pretty decent player. I'm not actually sure if this is a Smurf account or not, but it seems to me that it may be of one of the higher level Zergs, but like I said, I'm not exactly sure. There are a couple of other casts that I've done of LastWish, so feel free to check those ones out. But we'll see what happens here today on Scrap Station. As we mentioned, BanBanZ is a very good player, and some interesting things have come out of him in GSL. And as we can see here, he's actually going to start off with a very interesting move, just running straight over to the Zerg base, sitting on the position where the hatchery would normally go, and he's going to block that off for a small moment. He's having a little bit of trouble there, but he's still getting away with that particular play. Got to be careful with the probe shields there. Once it gets low on the shields, you have to be very careful and make sure you either sit around with the probe and make sure you're running away from the drone that's there, or you put a pylon down. And as we can see, he's just going to leave that be. It looks as if LastWish wasn't actually prepared just yet for the hatchery. He's just going to... He's actually getting a spawning pool up first, actually, so that's why he's not putting that down straight away. Now, BanBanZ has, of course, noticed this and knows that there won't be any pressure just yet. As we can see, he knows that the hatchery is now done from, or down from LastWish. And as we can see on the other side of the map, the Nexus has gone down actually quite quickly there from BanBanZ, so he's going to have that ready to roll shortly, and he's going to start pumping out his economy. And as we can see here on the just at the choke point here, with the Overlord sitting over, just being really annoying, and he's actually going to get the Gateway Forge up straight away. Now, of course, when you are doing this sort of build as a Protoss, this is the Forge Fast Expand, of course, you do need to make sure that you're well prepared for any Zerglings that may come along. Now, from the information that BanBanZ gathered, knows that the spawning pool was up at the time when the probe was in there. The hatchery had gone down, so there wouldn't have been too many lings popping out straight away from LastWish. So that's why the cannon has only just gone up now, and as we can see, it's half done. So he will be adequately ready for any Zergling pressure which may come along, and of course he will get the Cyber up pretty quickly as well. Now, from the position of LastWish, as we can see, sending an Overlord here, he won't have any trouble from Stalkers or Sentries, of course, because the Cybernetics core is a lot later than it normally would have been. As we can see, it's just going down now, so he can actually keep these Overlords in good positions to spot what exactly is going on here in BanBanZ's base. Now, you can see that probes are being chrono boosted out. I almost said probes are being chrono boosted. That's a bit of a weird one, but he can see that the economy is really going along nicely here for BanBanZ. And as we can see, in fact, on the economy tab, we actually have 26 harvesters in total. 27 now for BanBanZ, and we actually have just 23 at the moment for LastWish. Now, Probe just got inside here. Probe just got to see what was happening here. It does know that the lair is going to be coming through shortly. It is morphing along there. It doesn't know how far it is, but it is. We can see here that it is about a third done. So it's going to be ready for any sorts of lair tech that may come out of LastWish. LastWish, meanwhile, is really pumping out the drones. He's trying to catch up in the economy stakes, and we will see what his next step is. Of course, he's putting down an extra extractor there just to get the gas economy rolling a little bit faster than it was before, because it was only the one extractor actually, so he's going to have 3. So this could lead into mutas, or it could lead into hydras. I'm not sure about infestors. It's sort of a bit iffy about using infestors on this map because of the tight space, and if your opponent, your Protoss opponent, has Colossus, the infestors, unless you control them really well, will actually get fried up by the Colossus when they come out. But we'll see what happens here. It looks as if BanBanZ is just going to stick with a normal sort of progression of the tech at the moment, getting his Warp Gate along there, and the +1 to weapons will be coming through soon. Now, whoa, there you go. we actually have a total of 6 gates will be up for BanBan shortly, so this could be a 6-gate timing attack, which does a great job against a Zerg who is not ready for it and is not adequately defended. And as we can see with that overseer that scouted through the base, he was able to scout out that the gates were on the way. So the economy is now again still starting to pick up here for BanBan. He's going to have these extra 2 assimilators down at the natural expansion all done, and as we can see, a couple more probes transferring through. And he's probably going to hit a timing probably in about a minute, or it's probably about a minute or 2. It sort of depends when he wants to do it, but he's going to need to be on top of all sorts of things, like of course his pylon count. He doesn't want to get caught up in any way when he's producing all these units out of these 6 gates. And as we can see, he's actually getting +1 armor straight away after the +1 weapons is done. Now, the reaction from LastWish, we'll have a look at what he is up to. He's still going pretty hard on the drones for the moment. He is, however, starting to get some roaches out, and as we can see, roach speed and hydralisk groove spines will be on the way, so he's going to be able to dance with those hydras, and the roaches will be moving along quite nicely as well. And a nice little creep highway is the beginnings of a creep highway have been started here by LastWish, along with a creep tumor just starting to spread through the middle. Good idea to actually get a creep tumor running through the middle here, so you actually have vision of anything that may come through the middle there. And as we can see, we actually do have a small move out here from BanBan. He's going to try and push out now. It is a good time to head out and see what damage you can cause to the Zerg economy, of course. And by economy, when we talk about that, of course, we mean that LastWish will obviously have to make a lot of defensive units to defend against this pressure, meaning that he won't be able to drone up as hard. Now, LastWish, of course, was still doing a good job on the economy. If we have a quick look, he is now just ahead of BanBan, and we've got a lot of roaches here. Some hydras are starting to pop out, queens are coming down to the party, and some spine crawlers will be up and running. And now the pylon has gone down from BanBan, so he's going to be able to warp in those extra units here. He's got a decent mix of zealots, stalkers, and sentries. We've got a few sentries in there for the guardian shield, and some force fields there which do block off a little bit, but not really too much. What that will do is stop the roach hydra from escaping, and as we can see, attempting to move in there to snipe off as many of those units as he can. The 2 spine crawlers are now done, and they are poking away at the Protoss forces. Meanwhile, more stalkers have been walked in. They're going to be able to provide a lot of damage here, but I don't think this is going to work for BanBan. He only has stalkers now, which of course do a lot of damage, but the problem is that hydras do great damage against the stalkers as well, not to mention with this supporting spine crawler. But it looks as if BanBan is actually going to be able to bust through for the moment. Going to need some more reinforcing units from LastWish to hold off this attack, and as we can see, more units are still starting to warp in now, so still waiting for any sorts of further tech. But of course, when you're doing this sort of push, as we can see, you need to chrono up the gates to make sure you're pumping out units as fast as you can, and then you can't actually spend any of your money on the tech that you would like to get, such as a Colossus or Templar or anything like that. So BanBan is actually just hanging around here with his units, probably just waiting for one more warp in, then he'll probably give it a go. But as we can see, he's going to be forced to engage. Drones have been pulled off the natural mineral line. Meanwhile, the stalkers are getting into a little bit of a bad concave. It's not even concave, that's a convex. And the concave for LastWish is absolutely brilliant. They're getting huge surface area on top of these stalkers, and as we can see, he's doing a decent job actually microing some of these hydras back. You don't often see that from Zerg players, is that they micro away those hydras, but as we can see here, he is way easily taking care of that attack force from BanBan, and now BanBan is in that position where you need to be very careful about what your next step is. He may need to get out some Colossus pretty quickly, but I don't think there is time, not to mention the fact there is no robotics bay at the moment, so he's going to be able to he's going to have to get that out pretty quickly. There it is, he is going to get that up now, but we do have hydras knocking on the door. They are going to be busting through here without an invitation, and they will be able to roll through these rocks. As we can see, rocks have gone down, the hydras are now coming through. BanBan's leftover forces a bit out of position here. They're off to the side, but they're not going to be able to get back in time to stop this from coming through. The hydra's getting into a good position. He's got to know that the Protoss forces are hanging out to the side. Groove spines there, as you can see, they're groovy little haircuts. Zerglings with no speed, keep in mind, are actually just hanging out here, but I think that may be the end for BanBan. He's just lost the side belt, lost the forge, of course, which isn't a huge loss, but of course with the loss of the side belt, there's going to be no more stalkers or sentries, and as we can see, he's actually supply blocked now at the moment. LastWish just steaming through here. Hydra's getting into a good spot there. Again, another decent concave. We only have about 4 or 5 of BanBan's units actually firing at the Hydras, whereas there are a multitude of Hydras actually firing away at the leftover units that are here. Probes coming off the line and being sniped away. I think that will probably be it for BanBanz. He's going to succumb to that pressure of the Hydras and extra roaches coming in, as we can see. It's a great game there by LastWish, pushing over the attack from BanBanz, which tried to come through around about the 9-minute mark, but then just rolling through those rocks through the middle, taking out the cyber and that wall there, which was pretty much it for BanBanz, because he did not have enough time to get another cyber up before these Hydras ripped through everything. So good game there from LastWish. So hopefully we'll see a few more games from him soon, and of course hopefully we'll see BanBanz picking up his game and playing a bit better in the GSL, because he is a decent player when he pulls out some of those fun things that he does do. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.